Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back as always to another video on the channel. It's Ansonex, and today we're going to do an updated tier list for the month of April and the new patch that just dropped last week because I've gotten some games on it. I'm sure you all have as well, and I wanted to get into it today. But before we do that, I wanted to thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. That's a lot of people. It's more people than I graduated high school with, almost as many people as I graduated college with, and I just want to say thank you so much. That is a tremendous achievement, and just one that I'm incredibly proud of, and I feel nothing but gratitude, thankfulness, and I feel very lucky that you all have joined up on this ride and you found some value in the content that I've been making. So thank you guys so much. Like really, honestly, genuinely, from Will, the guy, Ansonex, the real Ansonex Will, to you on the other end of the screen, wherever you may be. I hope you're having a great day, and just thank you so much. But let's get right into the tier list. I think the way that we did it last time, if I recall correctly, was we just went straight down the line, and we're going to do that again this time. And we're going to start with Abrams, and Abrams is... I think I said this in the last tier list. Abrams is just such a consistent character across the board. He really is just been, like, he's been very, I don't want to say strong because I don't want it to sound like overpowered, but he's been a very competent hero for basically every skill level all the way through the game, from when I started playing in August to now. Maybe people who got access before August 2024, if you guys have any other input, what he was like before then, that'd be cool. But my take is that Abrams is still just a strong A-tier character. Like, really, A for Abrams. I think that he kind of is just, he's been very well balanced. He's kind of the embodiment of not necessarily what a character could be, but I think like what the goal with Deadlock characters should be. And I think where Valve is in dev reflects that, with them giving him like the new art pass. Next, we got Bebop, but before we get to Bebop, I want to mention that we do have a Discord server now. So if you guys are looking for just a place to hang out, I talk about a bunch of things that aren't, or I have a bunch of interests that aren't necessarily Deadlock, and it's obviously going to have a Deadlock focus, but we're talking about sports in there. Masters is cooking, so we're definitely going to be talking about that. So I just want to hang out with you guys and get to know you on, I don't know, a little bit better of a level than we do in the comments section. So if you want to join, the link is down there in the description. I would love to see you there. I'm going to be hanging out tonight there for sure. And so next, though, we do have Bebop, and people, like, the pendulum swings back and forth on Bebop, and I shouldn't say maybe back and forth, because I feel like it swung from, oh, lost my elastic that's holding up the phone, sorry. Pendulum swings. I'm gonna scoot over a little bit. Again, I mentioned this earlier in a different take, but my camera broke, or for some reason I can't get my webcam to like link up to the PC anymore. I think I got a bad USB-C cable, but none of that is here nor there. Bebop, I think he is just a really strong hero, but the thing with him is that debuff remover has become so consistent through almost every single game. Debuff remover, E-shift, is that it's really easy to individually counter a strong Bebop if he's not doing the gun build, which it feels like a lot more people have been doing the kind of like Echo Shard double bomb build recently again. So I think Bebop's a strong B tier. We won't keep up. Don't worry, Calico's not going to go into C tier. We're not going to keep up with the alphabetical theme. Calico, I still think, is ultra strong. It was a great nerf to her. She definitely like. I think that nerf is in the right direction. I think they need to be more aggressive with it, and I think they need to go back to what I said in my Calico video months ago, is they need to break up this combo that she has in some way, where she can dive in, heal up a bunch of HP, be invulnerable for upwards of 5 seconds with E-shift, and then just dip out for free, essentially. They really need to do something to break up that combo, which Slowing Hex does something, but not enough. I still think Calico is a really one of the strongest heroes in the game, if not the strongest, and so she is S tier. She's not the strongest hero in the game anymore, but she's still really strong. Another hero that is really strong, and I think there are certain heroes, a couple heroes like this in the game that we'll talk about, and that's Dynamo. Dynamo is really interesting because his impact is super high by default. Just because his ult is so good, probably the best ult in the game. So you could have a Dynamo that is horrendous, but he comes through in the very end of the game, wins you the last team fight. And all of a sudden, it's not all worth it, but, you know, it's worth if you wind up winning the game. And I still think Dynamo is an S tier character. His kit is so good. Like, I'm trying to think about who has a better, just like all well-rounded kit in the game. Like maybe Moan Krill. Just like all the 7 is great for right now, but I think we all know that there's more changes coming. But I still think Dynamo's S tier. He's probably above Calico, I think, at this point with her, with the recent Calico nerfs. Above or below? Above or below? Above or below? I'm gonna get flamed for this one in the comments. I feel it coming already. But I do think he's gonna go above Calico for now, because I just think he is a better team player. Can be ultra useful in every single situation, which obviously Calico can too. But Dynamo can actually swing a game just by himself, or swing a fight just by himself, and I think that's uber important. And so we're going to put Dynamo above Calico for now. The one thing that I will mention about Calico, kind of going back, is I haven't really noticed. Like, I still feel just as strong playing Calico as I did a week plus ago. And even though, yes, you have less health, and that's noticeable, right? But when I'm going into a fight and I go in and I jump in at half, 3/4 health, I hit the slash on somebody who's not expecting me, they're looking the other way, it's like you do just as much damage. And like you really can just dish it out. It feels like just as quick, at least to me, who's, you know, basically only plays Calico these days, just because she's the hero that I've been having the most fun with. Moving on to Talon. Talon has felt kind of strong again, guys. I don't know about you, but he definitely just he's back to annoying me in lane. I have gotten much better at dodging the charge shots, but it's more so like his the Spirit Snatch. Why am I Spirit Snatch? The Spirit Snare. It's changed so much. I barely even remember the real names. The Spirit Snare feels the movement trip up is really annoying, and I think it still needs a little bit of work, but it's in a better spot. But you can just kind of buy up Spirit Armor, which is a lot of times what I just find myself doing, which is useful for a lot of things beyond Great Talon's charge shots. So I still think he's good, but he's like marketably better in the early game, and I don't want to say gets better, like it's not like a flat curve, but it does feel like if you're in a game for longer than 30 minutes, the Talon kind of stops being effective. And so we'll put Talon above Bebop in B tier. Why do I have Bebop in B tier? Bebop belongs in A tier. That's silly. The hook is annoying. What was I thinking? Haze, yeah, man, I'm sorry if you like this hero. She's just a really, she's a tough hero to balance, but this is kind of like Bebop. The pendulum kind of swings back and forth with her, but it's much clearer why it's happening, because it's either Haze does spirit damage with her ult or Haze does gun damage with her ult. And if she does only gun damage with her ult, we all just buy metal skin and keep it moving. If she does spirit damage with her ult, we all complain for a couple of weeks. And so I think that Haze is probably, we'll put her in D tier for now. Maybe she'll pop up to C tier as we go through some other ones, but we're going to tentatively put Haze in D tier. Even though she does, I think her smoke screen is still super good and annoying. It's just that she doesn't really have any damage capability beyond shooting you for 20 seconds, which it's just too easy to get away from. Especially with Warp Stone, and then you can E-shift through a lot of her ult now. Next up, we got Holiday. Holiday, I still think, is a really strong hero, even though they did take away those stuns from the last time we talked about her. I still think that she's good, and I think that the headshot damage can be really oppressive in lane still. I don't think that she's in S tier anymore, or nearly as strong as she was when she had that super stun capability. And again, this is where like E-Shift comes into play. This has like kind of been the item of the month, it feels like, where it's like it finally kind of trickled down from the pro community to now where you're seeing it in like almost, I should say every level, because I'm sure down in like Arcanist, Ritualist, it's not like still every kit, but once you get like really anywhere above like Archon, Oracle, it feels like almost every single person, if there's someone like a Bebop, a Holiday, a Infernus, Lash, you can just E-Shift just nulls so many abilities in this game. And with that said, I think that affects Holiday as well. And so we're going to put Holiday at the top of B tier now. I think that, honestly, I think that her gun needs to be a little bit stronger. I don't think the crack shot needs to be stronger. I think that it can be really annoying to play as her because of how just slow your gun fires. And I think that if they gave her maybe a couple extra bullets, or just maybe, and I'm not saying a big fire rate buff, but it just feels clunky to play as her right now. And especially with how much movement is in this game, I just don't think the average person can really effectively play Holiday around the headshot thing, which it seems like is more so what they're looking to have her do, is that you stun them and then you can headshot them. And it's not just you stun them and then walk them 4 miles back to your walker or into your team. I'm not scooting back. I can't scoot back. Infernus. Infernus is, I really think this hero is kind of ass. Right now, at least. Because I think there are a lot of close range heroes, and I think there are, number one, I think that there are a lot of close range heroes that do a better job than Infernus is. Because Infernus, his strength for a long time was Afterburn. Debuff remover is just too good against that. And then it kind of became like the dash away thing, but again, people now just kind of know to get out of the way, buy Spirit Armor, heal Bane. And I think like heroes like Calico or Mo and Krill, right? I think that they're just like better close range heroes. And I think that Infernus's thing now with his, like, you kind of just play, I shouldn't say but like the meta is just kind of like play around the one and do just a ton of damage. There are just other heroes that are going to be able to nuke him before he's able to do that. Or even get his nuke off, and then I just press V for each, which is what I have my active bound to. But I still think he's good, but I don't think he's better than Grey Talon. So we're going to put him, for now, at the bottom of B tier. I think Ivy got a sneaky big nerf this patch because she can't really fly the urn anymore because I don't know off the top. I just heard it in passing on Deathy's stream about how it's not as efficient anymore. I think it has something to do with the fact that now when you have the urn, instead of 13 meters per second being your cap, it's now 15. And so that's what my guess would be. But I know that she did get a nerf because it's not as efficient to, it's not efficient to fly the urn anymore with her. And so we are going to put her, I still think though, like, her gun isn't like super great, but she is just a solid support hero. She is probably the only like real, no, that's not true at all. Doy, stupid. She's not the only support hero in the game, but she, like, when you, I think that she is a strong support hero. But I don't know. I don't believe what I said. She's not a strong support hero. She just kind of, I don't think she has a great spot right now. I think that the stone form is really, that's her like one really good ability. I think the kudzu bomb is fine. It's just so easy to get away from. It's a worse version of Geist Bomb, I think. But I think so. I've been hovering. I'm sure you've noticed, obviously, that I've been hovering over B tier. I wonder if she does go into C tier, though. Yeah, I think Ivy's going into C tier. Next up, we got Kelvin. Kelvin wants to know what happened to his Ice Expedition team. So that has nothing to do with where his ranking in the tier list is. I'm just, spewing. Not quite A tier. At least, not yet. We haven't talked about it. I think that Kelvin, he is a hero. It's tough because we all know what it's like to get domed either like outside or right inside, and I think that's the big crux with his character. And I think that the gun Kelvin build being not nearly as like viable as it was is a huge was a huge nerf to his character, because now he is much more kind of in the support role. If not like directly I'm healing you, even just like maybe I'm slowing you for for like Viper or somebody like that. And so I think that he is still great because his ult is still awesome, if used properly, which, I mean, we all know that feeling. It sucks, but it's not ultimately all that frequent. And so I think we can put Kelvin at the top of does he go at the top of B tier or bottom of A tier? This is where like I should just stream this. But I think we'll put him at the top of B tier for now. Next up, we got Geist. I really think Geist is maybe not like, I think I'm higher on Geist than most people are. She isn't a great movement hero, obviously, so like that, I hear people talking about that all the time with the new map. I think that she's super strong in lane, one of the strongest heroes in lane. And I think that she can just be like downright annoying. I think that it can be really easy to play around a Geist that is like super telegraphed with their ult, especially as like Calico, which I've loved recently, because as Calico you could just do like the whole kind of like I'm invulnerable for 6 hours thing, or like with gun heroes a lot of times you can just kind of like play the distance, and because Geist doesn't have great mobility you could just keep her out at distance, and so there are some weak points for sure. I think that her strong points, though, are easy enough for a good player to play around, to be able to make her successful and mask the weak points of like telegraphing the ult, right? Like there are great Geist players who it's like they hide around corners and things, and it's like they're just waiting to trap somebody in like a team fight, or they're waiting to just pop their ult the exact right moment, and they know that. And I think there are some really cool Geist plays that you can do. And I think that she is a strong hero. And so I'm going to put her in between Abrams and Bebop. I'm also putting Bebop at the top of A tier. Bebop's gonna be at the top of the tier list by the end of the video, because I just keep thinking about every single time like that someone's gotten hooked and then just pulled into your whole team. Like every single time that I see Bebop on this tier list, I'm like, the hook is really strong though. And then we got Lash, who did get a sneaky nerf from the mid. I'm blanking. From the mid tower being like kind of removed. You can't get up there anymore. With that said, it was easy to just get around him anyways in that. I definitely found like after learning like the corner boost to get up there on just like without a stamina bar, it was just so easy to counter the lashes. And even with it, right? Without it, you could just fight him on the way up there. You could fight him for the top, and then even once he gets up there, you just stand back for a few seconds, because I think this position was kind of overrated, especially for Lash. Yamato, I think this position was just a little overrated. Just fight him for it. Lash, though, I think it's like I really want to learn Lash, guys. I just think I'd be so ass at it for the first 10 games that it's discouraging me. But I think his ult is one of the strongest in the game. Just scoop up everybody, throw him into a tower, or better yet, a dynamo ult. His stomp ability is great. That said, if he is just kind of standing in front of you, he is really kind of ripe for the pickings, and he's not vertical. So I think that he's probably a little bit stronger than Abrams, but below Bebop. Sorry, Lash mans. I just realized what I just did to you, homies. That's my bad. All right. Next, we got McGinnis. Poor McGinnis. We all know changes are coming for her, but yeah, she's probably the worst off hero in the game right now. I really believe the thesis that it's like she's just a hero. She was made. She was built for 4 lanes, and just being 3 lanes and not really having any changes to her kit really badly affects her, obviously. And the fact that she's not really a split pusher anymore, because split pushing still a thing now, especially feels a lot better with the new map, but it's obviously we're not at like the 4 lane levels where it was really effective for like her or Wraith to go and just clear a lane by themselves. And so D tier. Yeah, McGinnis is the worst hero in the game right now, but I'm sure changes are coming, McGinnis fans. Mirage. Mirage is interesting to me. I love his. I think it's like interesting that he's got like the super global presence. And his gun is like super duper strong. And I don't see that many like people like I'm not scared. Like Mirage is so strong on paper, but I'm just not scared of Mirage, and I think that's mainly like the I don't want to say the people that I'm playing against are ass, but I couldn't tell you the last time that it feels like a Mirage carried, and his gun damage does a ton. He sets people up with his tornado. The Scarabs are sick. He can teleport anywhere on the map. Mirage has a great kit, great on paper. I think that he is certainly above Bebop. I just, for whatever reason, the people that I play against, I've never been scared. But tell me what you guys think. Do you see a Mirage and get, ooh? Maybe that seemed ironic, but you know, I meant to be scared. So, I don't know. Mo and Krill, people are coming around on these homies, dude. These guys are so annoying. If you want to see, there is a chance that he gets a rework, or they get a rework. You can check out one of my Deadlock weeklies from a few weeks ago for that. Obviously we're not talking about the potential rework though. We are talking about what's in the game right now, and what's in the game right now. I think Mo and Krill is an S tier character. I can just let me just burrow away and get basically like 100% resistance and be almost and just run away for a tiny little hitbox underground. Let me disarm an entire team fight. Let me hold this one person here to get melted by my team, which obviously he's vulnerable for that too, but he's getting a lot of healing, and then he could just pop Scorn during that, which heals him for 9 million HP, which I think is annoying. I think Mo and Krill is super good, super duper duper good in this game, and I think that people are just now kind of starting to come around on that, and that's why he's I think he like, who knows, right? That leak may never occur, but I think that that's why they would be looking at reworking him, is because of how strong he is. Next up, we got Paradox, and Paradox is another. I would say, I almost said paradox, but that's not really it. It's paradoxical, or interesting, rather. And because it's like another hero where it's like good on paper, but I think that they've nerfed her now. Like, the paradox thing is a meme for a reason. They just keep like knocking her down lower and lower and lower, until now we're at a point. And I'm also just looking at the paradox thing, like, portrait. You guys ever notice she has a blue rose on her lapel there? I never noticed that. That's cute. She's just not that good, and she's so reliant on a good team. Like, or I shouldn't say she's not that good, right? Because a great Paradox is really good, and they're stunning you, hitting you through the combos, and it can be especially annoying as Calico when you get swapped through the wall, and then you're basically all your abilities are disabled to like get you out of any type of like shitty situation that you are putting yourself into because you're Calico. And so Paradox is more annoying, I find, than threatening most of the time. It can, though, be really annoying when she swaps you into the enemy team, but a lot of times she's just swapping herself into your team. So really high skill ceiling for Paradox. So we're going to put her at the bottom of A tier. Next, we got Pocket, just super burst damage hero. This is where I think Spirit Armor comes in again. I'm not super threatened by Pockets these days. I just find that buying Spirit Armor works a lot, and I find myself just buying Spirit Armor a lot in almost every character in every game. But it's especially when you have like a pocket that's just like when you have like the burst damage pockets, which are like when I find myself being like, god damn, this pocket's annoying, this pocket's killed me like 4 times in the last 20 minutes, it's because they're like just doing the crazy burst damage build. And so Spirit Armor certainly helps. Debuff Remover, I'm not super threatened by pockets, but when they are there, they are strong as shit. And so I think we're going to put Pocket in... Someone's honking their horn outside. How mean. How mean to interrupt the tier list. Let's put Pocket top of B tier. God, it's tough. Like, it's tough once you start to fill out, because then you start putting them, like, in between people. And it's like, does he go between Abrams and Geist, or does he go between on top of B tier? Because it's like, what I'm weighing in my head is this is the I never see a pocket that, or 90% of pockets are ass. And then this is, or I shouldn't say are ass, but are ass that I play against. And then this is but the 10% whoop my ass. And so I'm debating where they go. And so I think we'll find a happy medium for them at the bottom of A tier. Next up, we got 7, who did get the farming nerf, but I still think that he's just still super powerful. His win rate still suggests it, which I know win rate obviously isn't what we're like ranking these heroes off of, but you don't have a 56% win rate because you lose every game, right? You have a 56% win rate because across the player base, you're winning a lot of games. And I think that 7 is still an S tier hero. I think it's going to be a while. Like, we'll probably need to introduce a better farmer to the game before he really loses that title. Or the farm will really need to be, like, broken up. Because he clears it so efficiently. And by 30 minutes, the game's over if you're playing your macro well. Because this 7 can be at 45k souls. Then we got Shiv, and Shiv I really like, and Shiv is one of those heroes where I am actually kind of scared of a Shiv, even though that this is one where the win rate would not suggest it. I was shocked when we looked at last week's Deadlock Weekly, and we saw Shiv at like 46% win rate or something, if I recall correctly. He just, I mean, for whatever reason, just doesn't win games, but my god, I feel like I get executed quite a bit as Shiv, and I think maybe that part of that, right, is Calico. Just a lot of times you are just kind of at low HP, right? If I miss my claw strike, a lot of times I'm just kind of left in the open with low HP, and so Shiv can really capitalize on that, so maybe that's part of it. But I'm curious, what do you guys think? Do you guys get annoyed as I do by Shiv? Because I certainly feel him annoying the crap out of me in my games, but especially in lane too, because that bleed can be so annoying. Where does Shiv go then? On top of, he's got his sick execute. I think Shiv is top of B tier material if we've ever seen it, guys. Is he? This is, we're not doing another one of these off stream, by the way, guys, because this is where I need you guys to come in to break the tie, because this, like, I get so, once I start looking at the list, I need to drop them and then forget about it, because once I start looking at the list, I start freaking out and going, wait, hold on, what about Shiv versus Infernus? And so we're just going to move right on to Sinclair. And Sinclair, I think, is a pretty strong hero, and another one that, again, one of the worst win rates in the game, but just, I think, like, a strong hero. The Rabbit is good. The ult is fantastic if used properly. And, yeah, I think that the lane, even though he did get nerfed with the Vexing Bolt, the lane presence, you still do a ton of fucking damage with those in lane. And so I think he is an A tier character. I think he goes above Pocket and Paradox, but below Geist. Vindicta. This is another hero that, kind of like Dynamo, is just like kind of high impact by default, because all you need to do is just a few times and you can like get a gazillion kills. You don't have to, all you have to do is point and click to win the game with Vindicta. And obviously it's more complicated than that. I don't mean to offend you Vindicta mains. I'm an X1 myself, but it's, we all know how relatively simple the ult is with her. And yeah, you need to move the mouse around, right? You got to do more than Calico. You got to do more than you got to do more than, I don't know, Lash or something. But it is certainly an OP ult that you can get a lot of kills even if you are otherwise completely irrelevant in the game. And so because of that, even though they do keep dropping her gun damage, and it just like, it kind of feels strange to play Vindicta right now, in my opinion, because the gun damage for her, they keep nerfing it, they keep nerfing her Crow, and so you need to play far away because you're super squishy. But now, like, the fall off distance of just long range bullet fall off, and then combined with then her gun, it's like you need to paint a very fine line of where you can actually play as Vindicta so that you're far enough away from the enemies so that you're not in danger of them just walking up to you and killing you, because as Vindicta, like, we all know what it's like to have a Vindicta right in front of us. And by now they're dead. It feels kind of strange right now, in my opinion. So Vindicta mains, sound off in the comments. I'm curious what you guys say about that. But I really feels bad, man, in my opinion. And so I still think, though, that, again, that ult is pretty strong and, like, kind of nullifies all of that. And so I think that she is a bottom A tier character. We're filling out the A tier here, but luckily we're running out of guys at the bottom. Viscous, I've been running into a lot of strong support Viscous builds recently. I'm curious, you guys too, but some real killer Viscuses who have been, like, killing it with the cube. Like, shout out to you Viscuses the past fucking couple weeks. It's like, you guys, I've seen more sick cubes on me, like, in the past week where I'm on voice chat being like, oh my god, you're sick. Like, I've seen more of those in the past, like, week than I have in literally the entire time that I've played this game. So shout out to you Viscous mates who are really figuring it out. But I think that Viscous is a strong hero. He's probably again another one A tier. Luckily we got some ones that'll fill out other ones here. But no, I think Viscous is top of B tier because he's just not that high impact. That's the thing. He's great to have around, but he's not high impact, which I think that, frankly, all of these heroes in A and S tier are. Which, granted, obviously, there are high impact heroes down here as well. Kelvin, Infernus, Talon. These guys can properly change the game and often do. Viscous is great to have around. Speaking of great to have around, and by great to have around, I mean not great at all. Let's talk about Viper. I think this hero's ass, dude. Like, I'm sorry if you play her. I think this hero is proper buns. And not in, like, the Hayes McGinnis way of, like, oh, we're still kind of figuring out what we want to do with this one. I just think Bullet Hose, like, this, like, it's so easy to play around. It's so easy to punish. Like, I just think that, like, a hero that in this game that's gonna get close up like this, they need to do spirit damage, man. If you want a gun character, they need to be someone like Wraith or Vindicta who can, like, actually play from a distance, or like Wraith, for example, who can stop anybody in their tracks right in front of her. Whereas like Viper, they do that, and then they're just kind of like, they ult, and then they're just sitting there. It's much better. It's like a support ult. Like, it's I don't like this guy. This guy, not my kind of guy. And so Viper, top of D tier, because I think that they are actually still better than these other two heroes, but I have a vendetta. I don't like this guy. Speaking of guys, though, that I do like, shout out to the stash Warden. It is my Warden impression. Probably pretty good. Probably could nail that cosplay. I still love Warden. I think he's just like a super simple hero. Just so easy to just hook people, kill him. I love Warden. I love playing him. I hate playing against him because the ult is so strong. I think he's a really well-rounded, like, gun hero. I think that ultimately, like, he's not what Viper should be, but I think if you're going to do a gun hero, it's, like, in the lane of Vindicta, Warden, Wraith, where it's, like, Warden's just a super aggressive but not easily punishable hero. And so I love him so much. I love playing him. He's some of the most fun you can have playing this game, I think. Just because you just feel such a power spike for turning your brain off. And so I think he goes probably below... It's so funny. I mean, I've noticed it a gazillion times, but just how similar Warden and Lash look. It just makes me laugh so hard, dude. I think he's probably... I think he's above Abrams. Does he go above Lash? Yeah, I think he does, honestly. Above Lash, below Bebop. I think that's a strong ranking for Warden right there. Wraith, I've come back around on her a little bit since our February tier list. I'm sorry that I keep, like, bumping out here, you know. I'm Again, there's a one-time only thing on the phone, so don't worry. I think that Wraith. So Wraith's back a little bit in terms of, now she can split push. She's not really quite back in terms of just like her actual like kind of playing ability. I do I've come back around on her since they made the ult change and stuff like that. It's better, but I just think so much of her identity was kind of bound to being able to split push with her, and I just don't think she's as strong as she was in that situation. I still think she's probably better than I think she's between Sinclair and Paradox, I think for sure. And then last but not least in the alphabet, we got Y for Yamato. And so Yamato, I think, is another one. Got obviously kind of like the pseudo nerf because you can't get up to the mid arch anymore, and she can't just like bomb you from, like, hit you with the B2 from up in the air. But she is certainly still a strong hero, and certainly still just kind of like a bruiser, just in the vein of like Calico is, where she's just going to get in your face, do a ton of damage, and she's going to be really hard to kill while she's doing it. I don't think she's as good as Calico. I don't think she's as good as Seven even. I don't think she's as good as Mirage either. And honestly, I'm not sure that she belongs in... Yeah, no, she does belong in A tier, but I think she belongs in between Wraith and Magician, I think, is where we're going to put Yamato, because I think that she is a super strong hero, or I fall into that trap of just saying that, but I think she's a strong hero because of how strong of a distraction she can be. Just get right up in your face, do a ton of damage, be difficult to kill. And I'm interested to see what it looks like when she gets that redesign that, we're all waiting for. Because if you didn't know, the Yamato character model is the same one from, or maybe not the same one, but the one that they were anticipating using for Neon Prime, which is the predecessor to Deadlock. But yeah, so here is our tier list, guys, for April. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you think it is a good tier list, a bad tier list, if you think I'm a moron, which some of you definitely do based on previous comments. So feel free to sound off down below. I'm really interested to hear from you, and I'm really excited to see it in the Discord. So definitely join up down there if you think that is something you'd be interested in, because I want to hang out. And I want to thank you again, guys, for 1,000 subscribers. Beyond like Ansonex on the YouTube channel, my name is Will, and Will, I really appreciate you guys. So thank you for just making me have a really good week. So thanks, guys. Have a great day. I will see you guys again for Deadlock Weekly on Sunday. Peace.